what's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a beautiful day today. My name is Carney Hobo, and welcome to the Carney League channel. Yeah, I know, right? It's kind of weird uploading on the Carney League channel. But yeah, so let's talk about what's gonna go on with this channel. Originally, for now on, I kind of want to upload a lot of Pokemon stuff to this. So small gun tournaments, also solo playthroughs are going to be uploaded to this channel. And if any other Carney League member wants to like join me in uploading and on this channel again, I would 1000% love it. And yeah. All right, but first things first, let's talk about this. So I joined the NU RBY Cup, and yeah, no, this was pretty spicy. It was a pretty spicy game, as we are basically playing Gen 1 NU, and I know nothing about this tier. But I have like a general knowledge of like how I like to play and how I think my opponent's going to be playing. So this map one is actually going to matter a lot. So let's just get straight into the game. As this team, I have Venomoth, Kabutops, Vileplume, Magneton, Ninetailes, and Fearow. I'm actually like trying my best to like innovate in this tier, which I feel like there's not really much innovation. I was looking at all the sample teams, and like Poliwhirl's like a pretty common lead, so this is why I picked Venomoth to be my lead. Venomoth is going to be a Sleep Powder Stun Spore set with Psychic and Giga Drain. As turn one, he's going to switch out into Kingler. I'm going to go for the Sleep Powder, going to miss, but it's a-okay. I'm just going to hit another Sleep Powder this turn, and because Poliwhirl, switching to Kingler, right, which Kingler is actually an offensive threat. It tends to run Sword Stance, Hyper Beam, Body Slam, and Crab Hammer, because Crab Hammer has a high critical hit ratio, so it almost crits, almost guaranteed to crit every single time you use it. So I Sleep Powder on the Kingler, knowing that he's going to switch. I actually go for the Stun Spore here, and I actually landed on the Moltres, which is pretty strong because Moltres likes to do agility fire spin stuff. So I sent out my Kabutops here because for what he's revealed, right? Moltres, like I can easily take a fire type move from Moltres, because the only thing Moltres runs is really Fire Blast, Fire Spin, Hyper Beam, and then like agility. And I know that I have a decent amount of coverage, so I just go straight for the Surf to get a little bit chip on the Poliwhirl as the Amnesia comes up. But since I am a weird guy, I'm very weird. I do carry Slash on my Kabutops because it's guaranteed to crit because of the base speed of Kabutops. So here we go. I am put to sleep. I'm going to switch to Vileplume, as Psychic does 50, and I'm like, maybe I'll be able to take another roll. Maybe I get lucky with the rolls. Nope. So my Vileplume died. Vileplume is just there to spread paralysis and whatnot. So it is what it is. Venomoth does come up. I am going to be able to hit it with a Stun Spore, which is pretty strong. So Poliwhirl is now basically neutered. It can't really do as much because Poliwhirl's big thing is that it sets up Amnesia, and it's decently, like, it has base 90 speed, so it almost outspeeds almost all the threats in the tier. I do end up getting a critical hit with Venomoth there. As here, I'm just going to be sacking off my Moth to the Moltres because I don't really have much that wants to switch to a fire type move that isn't asleep right now. Also, this allows me to go into Magneton here and get off a free Thunderbolt. The crit, I think, doesn't matter, but now he reveals the Nidoking, and I completely forgot Nidoking was in this tier, but he ends up going for the Earthquake here, and I'm immune. So the thing with Fearow is Fearow gets Mirror Move, and it's base 100 speed, right? So since it's a base 100 speed and it gets Mirror Move, I actually go for the Mirror Move here, thinking that I would actually be able to go for the Earthquake, but I forgot that the move actually has to deal damage, so yeah, that's my bad. Yeah, so this makes me feel really stupid, but now I just go straight for the Drill Peck as he brings Eradicate out. I'm surprised he didn't run Blizzard on his Eradicate. Instead, he does have the Thunderbolt. Also, this Magtong is mono Thunderbolt. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm basically just going to be switching around and trying to get into position where my Pharaoh can actually start threatening this Nidoking, as I end up being able to get a drill pick off, but like with a crit it only does 50%, and now Ninetailes is here to save the world. This is how Ninetailes basically won me this game right here, by the way. Fire Spin Ninetailes, since I'm base 100 speed, and I also have the ability to use Confuse Ray, this Ninetailes is going to win me the game here, potentially at least. As Kingler comes in, choose a Fire Spin. Like I said, the only thing I'm doing is I'm just whittling away, actually. I do make a play. I do end up switching to Kabu. The reason why I end up switching into Kabu is because at this moment in time, I really want my Kabu to wake up, as this Kingler is going to decide to SD up, which is completely fine. I'm not trying to sack my Kabu here, as I know I can take any hit that this Kingler wants to go for. Even if he wants to go for Crab Hammer, I do take 2 of them. But there goes the crit. So my Kabutops finally wakes up, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to sack off my Kabu at this moment, and we are going to go straight into basically what's called Ninetailes versus the world mode. Crab Hammer on the Magneton, honestly, if Kingler, which I didn't think Kingler was faster than the Magneton, but it is, so yeah. But if I knew that long term, it is what it is. Like, okay. So basically what I'm saying is, if I knew Kingler was actually faster than Magneton, which I can't believe it actually is. I always think Magneton's like pretty speedy for RBY, but it's actually base 70, so it's like it's not that good. It's not even that good. So yeah, no, if you went straight for the body slam there, actually he'd be using his attack set and it would have done a lot more damage to me. But luckily my opponent does go for the Crab Hammer and not actually abuse my lack of knowledge of who's faster, and I'm actually able to get the KO here. Obviously Nidoking comes in, presses EQ, but now Nidoking is getting within range of Ninetales to actually dominate in the match here, as the critical hit on the Fire Spin does matter a lot, as basically it's guaranteeing me to be able to get him into range of Body Slam or into range of Flamethrower, because I'm not running Fire Blast on this. Mr. Mime is a threat, but luckily Confuse Ray shenanigans is actually going to save me here, as T-Wave does a lot. What this does is basically neutrals my speed, and it's the reason why I would potentially lose here, especially if Fire Spin keeps on missing. But luckily I do get the confusion luck that I need, and I am able to hit him up with Fire Spin. But since Mr. Mime's actually faster, he can since he is faster, he could break through, which would be horrible for me. So Ninetales versus Mr. Mime. At the end, Psychic is going to do a whopping 30%. That means I can only live one more unless a crit happens. But get lucky with Confuse Ray luck, and I think it's a 50% chance for him to hit himself. Ninetales gets a Body Slam, a huge Body Slam too, 52%. And as long as I don't get paralyzed, which I don't, Ninetales is actually able to take out the Mr. Mime. Now, that's going to win me the first game, first game. Very close. Ninetales has just went nuclear on his last 3 mons. Ninetales versus the world, as now we have team number 2. This team, if I remember correctly, is a little bit more cookie cutter looking, because I actually took some of the architecture from his team, because like I said, I only had one team at the time, and I kind of wanted to try to understand and evolve my knowledge of the metagame. So what we're going to be doing is we're not taking his complete team, because I do have the little spice in here. But I'm going to lead off with the Poliwhirl, as I'm bringing double water, which is Poliwhirl Blastoise, as this Clefable is actually really annoying. And now comes the Venomoth here. I do go for the Body Slam, which I guess is not a common move for Blastoise. Also, Blastoise in this tier looks like it's actually used to try to handle Charizard, because Charizard is actually annoying in this tier. But yeah, so I stay in because I think I'm going to die to another psychic or whatever. He goes for Mega Drain twice. Boom. It gets up. Mr. Mime shows up as Mr. Mime is like the psychic of the tier, alongside Execute, but Execute has a different role. It's basically a trader. Meanwhile, Mr. Mime's more of a cleanup sweeper. And I honestly thought that Mr. Mime would OHKO from the 70% that Venomoth was at. Turns out I was wrong, but I am running Rest shenanigans on Mr. Mime. This Mr. Mime is a Rest Psychic Seismic Toss set. As Mr. Mime is decently decently bulky and is actually able to handle most attacks coming my way. My opponent's actually making some really good plays here and actually going for surfs and whatnot, but I'm getting very lucky with the para hacks. My Paraluck is really, really strong, but Magnetong is back. I'm actually going to see if there is a Nidoking on the board, and luckily there is one, so now I understand. I do send in out Raticate. Raticate does outspeed, and Raticate's big thing is that you can run Blizzard. So, okay, in general, this is what Raticate does, right? It runs Blizzard, it runs Body Slam, Super Fang, and whatever like coverage move you want to run. So you can run T-Bolt too if you wanted to, but Super Fang's the big thing. Basically, that's big niche. It's its signature move basically. As Sleep Powder does miss, and I get very lucky because nothing's asleep right now at the moment. So I'm able to actually use Surf and take out the Venom off here. Now Mr. Mime time is in. I do land a Hypnosis and I'm able to get an Amnesia up. This means that I'm able to actually 2-hit KO the Clefable, but Clefable just ends up deciding to get a crit. So I'm going to send out my last mon, which is going to be Nidoking 2. This Nidoking is a mixed offensive Nidoking. It's not fully physically offensive, which is very, very strong. Well, actually, Mix is like the best, but because of Blizzard and Rock Slide. But my opponent decides that Charizard EQ is the better play here, even though I'm completely out of EQ range. And I mean, I didn't think I was out of EQ range, honestly, but it is what it is. It does a solid 40. So like, I honestly would have been in this loop for a while, since I have no mon to outspeed or speed tie with Charizard unless I was able to get the para. And that's what ends up happening. I go for the T-Bolt, get the 10% para or 20% para. It is what it is. Raticate does come in. So Raticate, I use Raticate as a sack. Even though I would be outspeeding at this moment in time, because I do want to be able to get a free switch into Magneton to bait out the Nidoking. So this is why I make this double here, this extreme double into Mr. Mime as Nidoking is in here. Out comes his Mr. Mime. I go for the Psychic. I do get the special drop, which is pretty strong, 30% chance of that happening. I go for the Psychic drop again. I'm doing a solid 29%, which is really, really good. Actually, it's really solid all the way through. But this is where Blastoise comes in. I know I'm within range of Blastoise just taking me out to the ball game. So I end up going for Rest, and he reveals Rest on his Blastoise. So now it's going to come down to special drops if I can get them. And looks like this Psychic is not able to get the special drop, but I'm able to go for T-Wave, slow this man down, maybe get a lucky para on my Rest here because I'm at 100% now. I do get a para on the Rest, which is very strong for me as he's able to go for Rest again. So this puts me in another prime position just to go for another Psychic, as my opponent really isn't that like well versed of positioning, which is something that like I even struggle with obviously in this game, as I do make cool calls, but that's about it. 2 seconds to take out the Mr. Mime, and that's just because I got a crit to begin with. But if not, it would have been 3-hit KO. Honestly, I should be using S-Toss, but I wanted to keep that in the back. I don't know why I wanted to keep that in the back. I just felt like Psychicking was the best play. So out comes Charizard. I know that my Magneton has really good special, and I get burned. So it kind of sucks, but I'm going to set up a Reflect here just to reveal some tech, as this Magneton was also like double edge, so like I couldn't do any damage to Nidoking there at the moment. So he double switches into his Charizard, which I feel like is a weird play, especially since Charizard, I mean, yeah, Charizard would have died to Nidoking, so it is what it is. I stay with my Mr. Mime because I know I outspeed. Nidoking goes for the rock side instead of the EQ, and I think EQ actually would have potentially have put me in a range where it would came down to a speed tie, Nidoking versus Nidoking. But luckily for me, that my opponent does go for the rock slide, and boom, I end up winning 2-0 versus Trip Con. Very close matches, and you can honestly tell these are very close matches, because we're both kind of new to the scene. And luckily, I think I just got game one. I got really lucky. I'm not gonna lie. Ninetailes should not have won that, but it is what it is. Game two, though, I felt like I took more control, and I understand how my opponent plays a little bit more. So I was able to make a little more ballsier plays because of that. But yeah, that's going to be game one and game two. I hope you guys do enjoy. Next week, you guys are going to be getting round two. I'm playing a guy named. I'm gonna be that guy. Hold on. I'm playing a guy named Y. Oh yeah, we'll roll down right here. There we go. OYBW. I don't know exactly. He's from the UK, so I'm not exactly like ready for him since he didn't play, so I can't even like lurk on his sets. But I'm trying out some new stuff, honestly, as things like I wanted to try out is bringing out Rapidash, as I was looking at other people's replays, and Rapidash is a pretty strong Pokemon. Rapidash seems pretty good, and it seems like a really good anti-lead against Poliwhirl and stuff like that, because not a lot of people bring Rest Poliwhirl, or they bring like a healing move onto Charizard, and Charizard is the king of this tier. I need to learn how to respect Charizard a little bit more, and that's why Nidoking is normally brought, or because none of the water rock types get rock type moves, so it's kind of hard to respect Charizard that way. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry about the long ramble, but hey, if you did like it and you're welcoming back some Carnet League uploads, make sure to leave a little like and comment down below what Pokemon you want to see in RBYNU. If I make it to round 3, I'll actually probably build a team around the top commented Pokemon. But yeah, until then, see you later. Bye.